Hello, this is a Samsung Xpress C1860 printer. It doesn't turn on when you press the power button. So let's get into this printer and see what the problem is. So this particular printer has a 110 voltage rating. So we have to use a step down to convert the 220 that we use here into 110 volt. So you can see this is 110. I don't know if the camera can pick clearly. This is 110 volts. So now this printer, we are going to open the power area. So if yours is this same kind of printer, so open the panel on the right hand side. That's where we'll be able to get access to the power supply and then see what the problem is. In case you haven't done already, like and subscribe to the channel. We have great videos on how to fix a whole lot of office equipment. So for this particular printer, we are going to locate the power supply. The power supply basically transfers power to the logic board so that the logic board can power different parts of the printer. So we'll just check towards the power area and see if there's any faults or anything that has burned in the power supply area. So this black part is likely where the power supply is. So what we'll do right now is to just get the power supply out, and then I'm going to check it properly to see if something has burnt inside. So I'm going to take out all the cables and all the clips and the screws also, so that I can get access to the power supply panel. Okay, so I've been able to remove the cover. You can see from the cover that I think it's likely the capacitor, the primary capacitor that has burnt out. You can see this particular capacitor probably having issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this power supply and then test it. So this is how it works. So this particular power supply transfers the power supply to the logic board. You can see, and from here it takes some power to it, from this part to the diffuser unit, which is a heater unit, and then from there to the logic board. So it goes in through these parts. So if this power is bad, most likely the printer might not turn on because of the different places that light are supposed to get voltage is supposed to get to are not receiving voltage. Okay, so this is the power supply. I am going to trace it and see what the problem is from. I'll show you how to trace it also. So basically, this is how this particular power supply works. Normally, power supply goes in through here, into the primary section area, and then it transfer power to this component. Then to from here, power goes in through, and then it goes in through this area where the transistor is, and then from there it transfer power to the secondary section. So this is actually from here to this particular point is the primary area. So I'm going to see where the problem is from. Is it from the primary area or the secondary area? Because it's actually divided into two. The power supply is being converted to DC volt. So let's see where the problem is from. So I'm going to read first, then I'm going to read is the fuse. Let's see if there's continuity between the fuse. Then I'm going to go ahead and read the rectifier, the bridge rectifier, and then I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this. This is the filter. Then I will read the transistors also. Then the capacitor. I know the cap is bad. If the cap is bad, most likely one or two components around the cap has also gone bad. So I'm going to take my time and read it carefully. So for a detailed guide on how I was able to troubleshoot this particular power supply and fix the problem myself, there's another video I think I'll drop the link when the video is ready, so that I'll show you how to be able to trace this particular power supply, the faults, and how to fix the faulty parts in the power supply. So what I will just do right now is just go ahead and trace all the components on this, then locate where the problem is from, the burnt out components, replace it, and then I'll come back and show you how I was able to get the printer working again. Okay, so I've been able to fix this power supply. It is working fine now. I've been able to replace the bad capacitor that was bad and other components that got burnt. So you can see now that this capacitor is better now. So I'm going to just read it for confirmation so that you see. So this capacitor right here is okay. So I've been able to trace and fix the faulty part. So what I'm going to do right now is to replace this the power supply back and then turn it on. Hopefully the printer is going to turn on. So when your printer or your device refuse to turn on after supplying it the right voltage, turning on the power button, it still didn't turn on, most likely the power supply is the culprit. If you can get access to the power supply and check, the problem is likely the power supply. So that is a screw. One of the screw has gone under this particular area, so it is dangerous to leave the screw there because this particular area contains some gears also, and this screw can also breach some part there, and it can actually get your printer burnt, or it can just seize one of the gears there, and then the gears will break. You can see all these gears. So if I don't remove it, it can just damage the printer. So be very careful when you want to open a printer and discover that one or two screws has gone inside, especially towards the gear area or the power supply area or the logic board area. Make sure you do whatever you can to get the screws out because it can be very, very dangerous. So with this particular method, in case your own printer is a bit different from this particular model, that doesn't mean that this particular fix can also solve your own problem. So just try as much as possible to get access to the power supply area so that you can check the power supply if there's an issue with the power supply. Okay, so I've been able to replace the power supply, but before I I plug it in, I have to test this um, step down to be sure that the step down is working, because I don't want to plug in uh, the printer on a faulty step down that I can just burn out the power again. So this is 110 voltage, and then the supply voltage is 200 and 220. Then it will give out an output voltage of 110 volts. So anything higher than that is going to burn the printer. So the first thing I want to check is the fuse to make sure the fuse is still working. If the fuse is bad or there's no continuity between the fuse, the step down will likely not turn on. Okay, so this fuse is okay. I'm going to put it back, and then I'm going to test the output voltage. The output voltage is 110 volts, while the input voltage is 230 volts. So anything other than that is going to burn the printer. So the power of this is on now, and with my multimeter you can see it is on and off. So with my multimeter I'm going to check the outlet, just to make sure that it's supplying the right amount of voltage to the printer. So I'm going to set my meter to take voltage reading. So let's see what we have here. You can see we have now, let's see on this side what we have. The probe is a bit shaky, so I will just try to steady my hand so that I'll be able to get accurate reading. The probe is a bit shaky, but okay, this is giving me 110 volts. 110 volts, yeah. The probe is a bit shaky, but it's 110 volts. I've seen it. So that is it, folks. I will see you some other time. Thanks.